So hello everyone, glad we're having you here today, and let's get right into it. Let me introduce you our amazing guest, Kristina Shershun. Thank you, Kristina, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Perfect. About FemPalette, real quick, just to quickly introduce myself, my name is Erica, and for those who are hearing about us for the first time, we're a community and a platform that is helping women in their professional and career development. We are a very diverse community of over 1,500 women, and we organize educational and networking events and mainly our mentoring programs. Basically, this type of interview is to help you better understand right away in depth a concrete topic that might help you when you are deciding to make a move in your career. And today's topic will be about finding a job. Before we start, I just wanted to introduce Kristina as well. Kristina is responsible for recruitment, people operations, and overall culture and well-being of the team at Merlon.ai. And next to all of her activities, which I believe there are quite a few, she finds her time to be our mentor as well. So thank you one more time, Kristina, for being here with me.
Thanks. I really enjoy this experience and all that FemPalette does, all the cool events and activities. So I'm glad to contribute.
Cool. Thank you very much. Okay. Since we want to keep it short and sweet, let's get right into it. So the first question, Kristina, that I had on you is, what is the first thing you would do if you would be looking for a job?
Yeah, I think what I would do and I advise people to do is to approach the job search not from desperation point, because sometimes we especially nowadays, people get laid off or end up unemployed and they tend to get desperate. But the approach is more like an opportunity and look for what are all the options I can try, or maybe I shouldn't look for a job at all. Maybe I should start my own business or try a job in completely different industry area. So look at it as some very broad opportunities and explore different possibilities. It's the main mindset I think job seekers should have.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So if somebody decides, of course, as you said, right now people get laid off and it's not a very specific time to maybe find that right opportunity because there are a lot of talent on the market.
Sure.
So where should people actually look for jobs? Like, what are your tips on resources where people should look for jobs?
Well, obviously the best channel for that is the personal network. If person already has some job experience, they are already part of some professional community. So it's the first place to go to your colleagues, former colleagues, professional community. And usually through those people, you can find the best leads, which might not be somewhere online. And the next step, obviously, are various job boards, LinkedIn, and then contacting recruiters, recruiting agencies. There are a bunch of options right there, but I would say network and different online resources are the main ones.
Mm-hmm. From the Czech market, do you know like any job boards that you would maybe recommend to our community, which is of course expats a lot? Do you know any, like, let's say job board, if somebody would actually look for a work where you would go?
Well, obviously the biggest job board in Czech Republic is jobs.cz, and I think they have jobs from all kinds of sectors and industries. Also, LinkedIn is big in Czech Republic. Many companies post jobs there. So those are two main resources. After that, I would rather look into more specific professions or industries where people are coming from.
Perfect. Thank you very much. If somebody, of course, right now, like the let's say the trend comes into comes in mind, like the remote working. If you would be a person looking for a job, what kind of like remote resource or remote website would you look for if you would want to find a remote job?
Again, for remote workers, I think the online community is really big, like different Facebook groups, but also there are a bunch of dedicated platforms for this, like Fiverr or Upwork or TopTal. Those are the mains, but also then it depends if people do like design work or translation work, then there are some dedicated platforms I might not know, but those are the main ones to check out.
Cool. I already know one myself, and it's mostly like if you want to if you want to work for an American company, and it's weworkremotely.com. I've
Yeah.
already like looked through these, and it's kind of like a good resource as well. Like if you really want to find a job there. The only thing is that usually you need to be like in North America, or you know you need to be in a specific time zone in order to work for them. But it's an option as well. I know that Zapier, for example, or other companies are putting their offers there. So yeah, perfect. And you said about specific positions. Do you have any concrete resources, for example, for IT in terms of finding a job? Where should they go?
Again, there are lots of them for software developers or IT roles. For example, Stack Overflow jobs. If we are talking about specific Czech market, there is a platform like TechLoop, and there are a bunch of those international platforms. For designers, for example, Behance. I don't know, for other kind of professions, I don't even know, but those are really easy to find, especially if you are a part of some professional community on Facebook or LinkedIn. You will come across those specialized platforms as well.
Cool. I think that right now a lot of like job agencies are looking for, you know, IT members of the community, and they are offering them to companies. Do you think that it's only, you know, somebody should pay attention to job agencies only if they're in software and IT, or do you think that working with an agency is good also for marketing or more like soft skill jobs?
I actually think recruiting agencies are quite the opposite. I would suggest for people who are graduates or have little job experience, start with recruitment agencies, because agency recruiter or consultant can help them prepare for the interview, give them some inside information. And this is really good for those type of jobs, and also for people looking for jobs in bigger companies, because usually those are the clients of recruitment agencies, though there are a bunch of specialized like tech or marketing agencies. So that's an option as well, but I mainly recommend it for graduates. It's a really good way to get you ready and be less stressed about the whole process. And maybe for expats who are like just a short time in Czech Republic and they don't know many people, it also can be a good option to start with recruitment agency.
Okay, thank you very much. You were talking also about using your personal contacts. So that consists also of using maybe communities that you are part of. Sometimes I see people that are posting, for example, on hashtag Holky z marketingu, which is you know, a Czech group of girls who are working in marketing or related markets.
Yeah, it's a cool one.
Yeah, it's a cool one, really. So basically, do you think that using communities and actually writing there like, hey, I'm available for this type of job and these are my skills, do you think that that is the way to go? Or do you feel like it's the last step that you do, that you actually give yourself out like that and you wait if somebody will just, you know, pump you a message on Facebook?
It's my work, but it shouldn't be a spam. It should be relevant. If you're a member of a relevant community, and it's not like, you know, you go on Facebook, you join 10 groups and you message everywhere, then it's a spam. It's not really relevant. But if you are like, you know, active in this community or group, you contribute and you know the people see you somehow, and then you write, hey, like I'm available right now, the chances are that you will get some responses. Another strategy I would try, actually look at those communities for people you find like relevant and interesting in your profession, and maybe message to them directly, or if you know that they work for companies which are interesting for you. And this can be a good like common ground, that, hey, we are both members of this group, I saw your post, it's very interesting, maybe you can help me out, or is your company hiring, or something like that.
Cool. Good tip. Thank you. How do you feel about right now we've been talking about the resources to use when I want to
Mm-hmm.
find a job. I found the one, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
and it seems like a really good job. But at the same time, I do not fit in all of those
Mm-hmm.
specifications in terms of hard skills, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's worth to try it out and send your CV and your cover letter? Or do you think that, people should leave it and really focus on those where they really fit?
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think the perfect matches exist, and very often job advertisements or job descriptions are written very poorly because it's just copied from some internal job description, and it has a bunch of different requirements which are not coming from real life. So I would actually give it a try, unless some skill that you are lacking is noted there as a must, that you must have this skill, know this technology, whatever. Uh, then I would probably skip it. But if it's just one of the hard skills in a list of like 10 or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
then it definitely worth trying, and maybe point out in your CV or cover letter or message that you are able to learn, and you know similar technologies, or you have similar skills, and in this way it might actually work.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, for example, in terms of education? Because
Hmm.
usually big corporates, they want a bachelor degree in
Hmm.
this specific field, for
Hmm.
example, and you have a bachelor degree, but in a little bit, it's
Hmm.
not concretely exactly that one that they need. Would you try it even then?
This is a difficult one because I came across hiring managers in my life who are very strict about, you know, education or some specific requirement, and it's really a matter of luck because of course there are like legally regulated profession. You're not going to apply for a doctor if you don't have a medical degree, right?
Yeah.
But if it's like something related and you have proven experience, it's worth trying. Again, then argument it in your CV or in your message why it might work. But I think nowadays companies get more and more relaxed about the education requirement. It's more like a nice bonus, but it's not like 100% hard must, the
Yeah.
specific major, specific school or something.
Okay, cool. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, do not be afraid and try it, even though you're maybe not 100% fit. Just try it out. Maybe you're gonna have a very good luck. Okay, cool.
Absolutely.
Perfect. How do you feel about LinkedIn? What is the best strategy when looking for a job there?
Mhm. There are several things you can do, and actually LinkedIn in Czech Republic is quite active. Uh, LinkedIn members in Czech Republic are like the highest amount comparing to the percentage of like workforce, comparing, for example, with Hungary or Poland. So it's definitely active space in Czech Republic. So definitely, I recommend people to set up this option open to new opportunities on the profile, on their own profile. LinkedIn changes it a lot, so it's somehow hidden. But if you are editing your profile, you have a section, um, add a new section or something like that, and under this drop down you'll find this open to new opportunities. So you can even set the preferences, what are locations you're looking for a job, if you're looking full-time, part-time, and things like that. And this will help recruiters to identify your profile faster. So this is the first thing. Then of course LinkedIn has job posts from companies where you can apply, but also utilize your network. So look into your LinkedIn connections and look if you're connected with people who work for companies which are interesting for you, and hit them a message, or make a list of the companies which are interesting for you and connect with recruiters from those companies on LinkedIn. It's definitely a good additional source of contact. And in my experience, I did have that candidates would contact me directly on LinkedIn, and sometimes I wouldn't come across if they wouldn't contact me proactively. So it's definitely worth trying.
Cool. Yeah, I also think that it's sort of like a trend for recruiters these past like 2 or 3 years for companies to be active, to use their employer branding activities,
Mm-hmm.
through LinkedIn. So
Mm-hmm.
thankfully, the companies are taking this advantage of LinkedIn, and if the person is actually active on LinkedIn and has you know, members from other companies, I think that it's really possible to actually go, for example, like to a person as you, and just to contact them directly. It's not, do you think that it's taking sometimes a bit like too cocky, you know, like that a person will just not go through the usual process of sending out a CV and sending out a cover letter, but like going right away through you? Is that okay?
I don't think it's cocky, because LinkedIn, the purpose of LinkedIn is a professional networking. So it's naturally for job seeker to connect with recruiter on LinkedIn. There is nothing cocky about that. It's totally fine. I mean, sometimes it's completely irrelevant when people are from completely different country or continent and they're contacting you with something you can really help them with. But if it's relevant, why not? But important here is, before you start reaching out to people on LinkedIn, is to update your profile, have it filled out, have it like showcasing your experience and skills, because then you're kind of, you know, those efforts are useless if you're not really showing what you can do.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. So you found your dream company, but the company doesn't have an open position that you would fit into. Again, do you think that it's worth the try to send out just like that your CV, like, hey, I would like to work for you, even though you don't have an open position?
Many companies, especially startups, they have like a dedicated career inbox where you can like write them even if they don't have open roles. But also in this case, I would rather go through referrals. I would rather try to find a person I know, or like friend of a friend or something like that, who works for this company, and get there through the referral. Very often, especially with big companies, the technical side of application process is so broken that many applications don't reach their destination. So if you have, be aware of that, and if you can do it through live human being, it will work much better, and it also gives you a social proof. Because for me, if my colleagues recommend somebody, I already know that, like, I already have a little bit of bias that this is going to be like a good person, because my colleague recommended and they might fit and something like that. So here I would definitely try to do it through referrals and find some people, some connections who work for this company.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So what information should I know before applying to a company? Is there anything that I should be aware of and actually try to find out before I even apply?
Often, especially it happens with graduates or people with little experience, that they have no idea what company does before interview. So at least scanning through the website and have overall general information is really necessary. But I think what is even more important is to know why you want to work for this company, what is in there for you, and why you are a good match. Why do you think you would be a good match for this job, based on the company description, based on job description? Those are the questions you should answer yourself before the interview. Of course, you might not have all the information yet, all the details, but if you have an idea, it will help to show your motivation on the interview better, and it will help you navigate your job search better.
Cool. Perfect. Thank you very well. All right. If the company doesn't reply to my application, should I follow up? Or again, is it too cocky if I follow up saying like, hey, what happened to my application? I didn't get any news.
I think it's a really good practice. Like, again, don't be annoying. Maybe wait for a week. And I know that there's a big problem and a big issue with candidate experience, that candidates stay without the feedback, and it's fault of many of us recruiters. But sometimes recruiters are just swamped, and they have too many openings they work on. So definitely go ahead and follow up. I would suggest maybe after a week of your application, if you don't get back from them, and maybe do it in a different way. So if you apply through a job portal, let's say JobCZ, find the career page and write to their career email, or connect with a recruiter on LinkedIn and write them there. So because maybe something is wrong with that channel where you applied. So by diversifying your channels, there is a higher chance you will be heard, you will be seen. But again, don't overdo it. No need to follow up every day.
Yeah, it happened to me once when I used to be a recruiter, that I had a woman calling me after one day that she applied, like saying like, hey, what's up? And I was like, yeah, you gotta wait a little bit. I'm just gonna, I'll get right back to you, but I just need at least 24 hours to get back to you. Of course, I was right away like looking at her CV because she was calling me. But already I had a little, prediction that calling after not even 24 hours is a little bit,
A little bit too much.
a little bit too much. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Cool. Perfect. So you also said that graduates usually look for the position and sometimes maybe not to the company. And your advice is also to look a little bit through the company. What are the resources that I can look at the company in a better view? Because sometimes I believe that maybe people are using their website, but not more. For example, I don't know, but I'm always looking at the companies on Glassdoor if they have a profile like on reviews from employees. Would you recommend anything else?
Yeah, sure. Well, nowadays companies are putting more and more effort into employer branding, and they try to showcase their life in the company, for example, on Instagram profiles. So definitely I recommend to check dedicated career pages of the companies, but also their Instagram to see what is the life, what the people look like in there. But also there are dedicated platforms for this, like you mentioned Glassdoor, but also Welcome to the Jungle or Kokuma are good places like that. Also Atmoscope, the Czech one. Those are the places where you can see kind of like inside the company what is happening there, and maybe get a better overview of the culture of people, and it will prepare you better for interview, and you will understand better if it's a good match for you or not.
Yeah, exactly. I know that Kakuma and Welcome to the Jungle are doing also like videos, so that you can actually like play them, which is kind of nice. Okay, cool. Last question. Is sending more applications better than focusing on one that seems like the dream job?
Again, I think at the sending application stage, of course, the more the better, but it shouldn't be spammy. Like, first of all, you set your strategy, what you're actually looking for, and then you can try different things, but don't get like, too crazy about sending as many applications as possible. Rather, maybe follow up with the people, or try to find the connections within the company which you think is like your dream company, or the company which will fit you the most at this point. So there are no limits. You can send as many applications as you want, but better it's to go deeper and try different ways to get there where you actually want to be and you want to work for.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much. We tried to keep it short and sweet. So thank you, Kristina, for answering all these questions in a very productive way. So thank you very much. It must have been hard. I think it was a little bit like the HR Disrupt, right? Like when you had 5 minutes and that was it. So sorry about that. But I hope that our everyone that will be watching the video will like the format, that it's a little bit shorter than usually. And yeah, thank you everyone who is watching this video, and we'll have more episodes coming up. So stay tuned, and thank you very much one more time, Kristina.
Thank you, and good luck to everyone with their job search.